And welcome to our latest XTB Market Alert. Today I want to speak about a key event that's happening tomorrow which could have a major impact on several markets. So if we go on the XStation platform and use the calendar tab here, you can see tomorrow, which is Thursday the 24th of January, at 12:45 we have the ECB rate decision. Now note, both interest rates are expected to remain unchanged, and as is often the case with this event, the press conference which follows 45 minutes later at 1:30 with President Draghi could well be the main market moving event. Now, if we look in terms of what the markets expect, this is from a piece that I wrote yesterday. This basically shows the height probabilities that the ECB raise that rate off the current minus 0.4% in the next year, and this is for each meeting. You can see there's very little probability that we see a hike tomorrow, the market giving it around an 8% chance, and even by year end there's only a 40% chance priced in from the market that we do see a move off this record low level. So expectations are pretty low going into this. Another thing I want to draw your attention to is Euro US dollar, which will be the first chart I come to in a moment. And we've seen quite a big divergence between the Euro US dollar and the 10-year yield spread between the US and Europe. What you can see here is going back to May last year, these have traditionally been pretty closely correlated, but recently we've had a large move higher in this spread differential, which if the Euro US dollar does catch up and move up to here, could suggest further upside for the FX market. And we could see Euro US dollar come up to around 1.17 to close that gap. Now returning to XStation and looking at its charts, we start with the Euro US dollar. You can see we've really been in a range in recent months with not much happening, with a floor around 112 and a ceiling around 115. Just a couple of weeks ago we did get a strong push to the upside above 115, but this proved to be a false breakout, and within a few days we dropped back down below this level, and since then we've continued to drift lower. We now have a rising trend line from last year's low around 112.10, which has come into play, and yesterday was respected with quite a long wick below the daily candle, and this is the first day I'd look to for possible support around 113.35. If we do see a break below there, then this could be seen as opening up the chance of further declines down to around 112.10, and if we go below there, then there is scope for a much larger move to the downside. On the other hand, if we do get something positive for the euro here and we see it possibly trying to catch up those yield differentials I was just talking about, the market could push up towards the 115 area. If we get back above here, then we could see further upside ahead. Another euro cross, which is at quite an interesting level going into this event, is the euro Swiss franc. You can see here we've been probing what has previously acted as resistance, and before that acted as a bit of support around 113.50. I think this is a key area to keep an eye on. If we do get above here, then we could see further gains with 115, the next area above. However, if we fail here and we do get a daily rejection, then we could see a move back down towards the 111.80 region. I've got the 8 and the 21 EMAs on here. The blue line is the 8 EMA, the yellow is the 21 EMA, and you can see this has done a pretty good job of capturing a trend in the last year or so. Once we had this bearish cross here with the 8 dropping below the 21, you can see we continued lower. We had a bullish cross here, the 8 going above the 21. A little bit of indecision here, but when we got the bearish cross again, another sustained move lower. And recently we've had a bullish cross. So if we do push above 113.50, there is some suggestion that there's a fair amount of scope for further gains. The third euro pair I want to talk about is Euro-Japanese yen. This is typically one of the most volatile over these sort of events, and you can see we had this huge move lower when we got that flash crash in a lot of yen pairs just a few weeks back when the Japanese yen soared across the board. Since then we have recovered pretty well off those lows around 119, but we're now once more retesting the area we broke down from around 125.15. This is potentially key resistance. You can see the 8 and 21 EMAs are in a bearish orientation with the 8 below the 21. And if we do get any reversals here, then we could see further downside back towards 120, 119 region. Finally, I just want to talk about the stock market and the German stock market in particular, the DAX, D30 cash here on XStation. And you can see we had quite a strong move higher in recent weeks. After we made that low around Christmas, I think we bottomed out around Boxing Day. We've had a strong push to the upside in recent weeks, and it culminated on Friday with this large break back above the 11,000 level, a large move to the upside on the day of around 300 points. The last couple of days, the start of this week, we have seen a pullback, but price crucially remains above 11,000, and whilst it does, then I think this break higher does remain valid. You could see a possible head and shoulders here with the shoulders either side and the head down to target a larger move up towards this next swing region around 11,700. Alternatively, if we get negative action here and we see a drop down below 11,000, that could be seen as a false break higher, like we saw in Euro US dollar just a couple of weeks ago. And levels to watch on the downside, if that does happen, 10,800. If that fails to act as support and we drop down below there, then we could see possibly a drift all the way back down towards 10,280. Okay, thanks for listening and best of luck if you're trading any of these markets in the coming days.